Darth Gean single-handedly saved the Sith Order years before the original trilogy, so not only am I going to talk about her story, but I'm also going to talk about why I chose this character as my 17th favorite Sith Lord. So first of all, Darth Gean was born to Twilight parents because she's a Twilight female, but those parents escaped slavery, which is very fortunate because a lot of Twilights end up enslaved for some odd reason. We saw this in the original trilogy, we've seen this throughout the Clone Wars. What ended up happening is she ended up being discovered by Darth Gravid, who is a Sith Lord. And he noticed that she was very adept at the Force, which obviously means she has a higher than average midichlorian count by a lot. She was actually pretty powerful, and I'm going to tell you how powerful she was because she managed to defeat Darth Gravid in one-on-one combat, more than likely well before she was ready. And he was going full effort on her because he was trying to destroy the Sith Order. So before we get into that, let's talk a little bit more about Darth Gean. So Darth Gean had to have a duel in order to earn the right to be Darth Gravid's apprentice. Not only did she fight against two other people, but one of those people, who's the most important of the three, was Darth Gravid's own son. That's right. According to the Wikipedia, Darth Gravid put his son out there and said, if you can kill my son in 1v1v1 combat and you are the best of the three, I will take you on and not my son. So presumably his son died, which is incredibly brutal and ironic because Darth Gravid ended up trying to turn to the light side. Sort of. There's a whole video on my channel about it if you're interested. What she did and why she's even in my top 20 and why she's above three other Sith Lords is she prevented the Sith from collapsing because Darth Gravid went on a rampage. He was destroying numerous Sith holocrons. He did so much damage that he ruined the knowledge of Force transfer, which Palpatine had to relearn, like I said, in the sequel trilogy. He destroyed probably the knowledge of things like Red Force Lightning because it took all the way up until Darth Tenebrous to my current knowledge to see Red Force Lightning again, which is absurd. So he set the Sith back years, and Darth Gean came along and killed him in combat, but she lost an arm, a shoulder, part of her chest, and I think her eye, which is why the character art looks like that. So she got severely injured in that battle and almost succumbed to the injuries, but the Sith have a odd ability to not die. Darth Maul decided to just not die. Darth Sion decided to just not die. Darth Nihilus decided to just not die, and Palpatine decided to just not die. So, that actually makes sense. The Sith just tend to be a very hardy bunch of individuals. So that's essentially the story of Darth Gean. She prevented the collapse of the Sith Order, and she did it all on her own. She didn't have any help. She noticed that something messed up was going on, and she went in and stopped it successfully. So it's not a very long story. It's not a very complicated story, but it's a cool story. And it's mentioned by Darth Plagueis when he was explaining to Palpatine why the Sith were set back for thousands and thousands of years.